Hi yogis, welcome. So we'll start in child's pose today. So sitting towards the back of your mat, have your feet and knees hip width apart. And slowly walking your hands forward, exhaling down, stretching your hands towards the front of the mat, allowing the forehead to rest down if possible. If you're not comfortable sitting in this position on your heels, you can always bring a pillow underneath your buttocks, between the heels and the buttocks, or if your ankles are uncomfortable, roll a blanket up underneath your ankles, or maybe a towel works quite well. Finding some length through your body, through your spine. Take a few deep breaths. Settling into your space, tuning into your body, feeling that sense of grounding to the floor. And if your forehead is not touching the floor, another trick is to bring one hand on top of the other hand and rest your head on your hands to get a little bit more height. And you may like to roll your head gently from side to side, massaging the forehead. Starting to connect with your breath as you inhale, finding length from your tailbone through to the crown of your head. And as you exhale, just feel a sense of softening down through to the heels and the hips, letting the chest melt down. One more deep breath in and out. And then as you inhale, just slowly coming up onto your hands and knees. And moving into cat and cow. So bringing your hands, your wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. As you inhale, look forward, slide the shoulders back. Allow the belly to drop a little. And then exhaling, curling the spine, lifting the belly, tucking the chin. Inhale, sliding forward, sliding the shoulder blades back. Keep grounded through the hands. Exhale, curl the spine, lifting the belly. Try to keep the weight to the front of the hands, the base of the fingers. Keep going with the movement, finding the flowing breath with the movement. And then as you inhale, look forward. On the next exhale, looking towards your right hip. Just getting a little bit of a side bend there. Inhaling back to the center. And then exhale, looking towards the left hip. Just hugging the belly in a little bit, just rolling, rocking from side to side, looking towards your hip, and you can swing the hip to the other, out to the side a little to enhance that stretch. So just rolling a little bit onto one knee to increase the openness through the side of the hip. Keep the breath deeply flowing, coming back to the center and beginning to circle the body, just circling the hips. You may even want to take your hands a little bit further forwards, allowing the head to roll gently, just finding some nice flowing movement, again feeling the fluidity in your body. It's quite nice to close your eyes here so you can feel into the body where it wants to go. Feel free to change direction when you're ready. Shifting the weight around and back. Finding some nice curling and opening through the spine, maybe just dropping the hips, the pelvis down a little bit as you roll the shoulders back. So feeling into it, finding your movement and flow. Finishing off there, one more deep breath in and out. Just bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. If your wrists are starting to get a little bit tired, you can always come onto your fists. So this is a good alternative. Have your thumbs facing towards the front. Pressing down through the tops of the feet. Check that your hands are directly below your shoulders. Slide the shoulders back. And then as you exhale, hug the belly in, push down through the feet. See if you can lift your knees off the floor. Squeeze through the belly, through the inner thighs. As you inhale, just resting down. So you can either do this on your fists or on your palms. As you exhale, lift the belly a little bit, press down through the feet, and then squeezing, pushing the knees upwards. Just building up strength through the arms. Just do that a couple more times. Inhaling, feel free to look forward, just let the spine come into that arch position, and then exhale, lift the belly a little, press down through the feet, lifting the knees off. Keeps the shoulders back, keeps that integrity through the shoulders. One more round in your own time. Good. And then from there, sliding your hands forward, keeping the hips above the knees. You can be on the fingertips if you wish, or the palms, whatever works best. Maybe the hands can go a little bit wider, feeling that nice opening through the chest. So the hips stay directly above the knees and allow the chest to drop down. So your forehead can be on the floor. Some of you may even want to try bringing your chin to the floor if you want a stronger variation. You can let the palms come down, but try to keep the arms active, opening up through the chest and the ribs. Lift the belly a little so you're not dumping it into the lower back. Slowly walking your hands back, bringing them underneath. And then sliding your right leg out, the lower leg out towards the outer edge of the mat. And then taking the weight through your right hand as you slowly bring your left hand to the top. So you're bringing your left foot directly over your other hip, the lower hip, so keeping the hips stacked. Some of you might want to make it a little bit stronger so you can slide that lower leg back behind the foot so you're balancing on the edges of both feet. It's important to have that hand directly below the shoulders and bringing mine back a little bit, pushing down through that lower leg, lifting the hips up. If you feel comfortable, you can raise your arm upwards and just creating some little circular movements so the elbows bent. So you can either do this with your lower knee on the floor, that's the easier option. One more circle, stretching back. Raising the arms up, spread the fingers out, keeping the neck long, lifting the hips. One more deep breath in and out. As you exhale, bringing that knee back down to the floor. And just take a moment there, sitting back into child pose. Bring your elbows onto the floor, palms together, raising the palms upwards, pointing the fingers up as you inch the elbows away to find that stretch in the shoulders. From there, letting your hands come forward, and back to your hands and knees, and we'll switch to the other side. So coming into that side plank variation, slide your left leg out to the outer edge of the mat, and then balancing on that front hand as you slide your right leg back, stacking the hips over top of each other, and then make sure your left hand is below your shoulder, pushing away from that lower hand, raising your top arm upwards, spreading the fingers out. So again, if you feel that you want to make it a little bit stronger, slide your lower leg back just behind the other foot, press down through the edges of the feet, lifting the hips, getting strength there. And then beginning to circle that arm, soften the elbow if you need, rolling it back. Keep lifting away from that lower hand. The next time you bring that arm up, take it vertical, spreading the fingers out, lifting away from the lower hand. Again, if it gets too much, just bring that lower leg down and you can hold it there. One more deep breath in and out. Breathing into the chest. As you exhale, slowly bringing that hand back down, coming back down into child pose for a moment. Feel free to rest your hands by your side, letting the weight come off the shoulders. Close your eyes, resting the forehead on the floor. Take a few deep breaths in and out. As you inhale, slowly curling upwards. Sweeping the arms forwards and up, lifting your hips away from the heels. And we'll just do a couple of circles here. Just as you exhale, just sitting back a little bit, just curling the spine. Inhale, open the arms up and back. Elbows soft, curling the spine. As you exhale and then inhale, open the chest. We'll do one more. Tucking the chin and lean back. And fold. And then staying off your heels, just come back so you can see me here. Going to adjust the camera. Amateur filmmaker here. There we go. So coming into gate pose. So if you take your right leg out to the side, and if that's uncomfortable for you with your legs straight, you may want to try turning the toes in a little bit, or if it's still not comfortable, bend your knee. So you can just have your knee bent. Make sure your right knee is directly in line with your hip. So you've got that alignment there. Also stacking the knee and the hip and the shoulder, so that vertical line there. Pressing down through that left knee, and as you inhale, raise the arm upwards, reaching out. So find length through the side body. You can turn your right palm upwards, and then if you have the space, beginning to come over to the side, so opening up the left side, keep grounded through the left knee, breathing, exhaling as you soften into the pose. So if your knee is bent, you can rest your elbow on the side, and that's a nice easy variation. So we're getting a lovely open side bend there. Try to keep the shoulders square, drawing that left shoulder back. Keep the neck long. You may want to exhale and look down, and then inhaling, turning the head and looking up. One more breath in and out. When you're ready, slowly inhaling and relaxing your arms down. Switching sides, so feel even through the knees, and then take your left leg out. So again, just finding what variation works for you. If it's too much, just bend the knee. Make sure that left hip and leg is in a straight line. You can also turn that foot in a little bit if it's too strong with the foot straight. So find the vertical line through the right side of your body, raising the right arm upwards, finding length and space through the right side. Just turning your left palm upwards. It helps if you draw up through that left knee, just to protect the knee joint. Again, if you need to, you can bend that left knee. Drawing the right shoulder back. Breathing deeply, long, deep breaths. Find a softening through the face, maybe lifting the corners of your mouth, creating an inner smile as you enjoy the pose. Finding joy within each pose. It's important to feel some ease. It's not all stress on the body. That's the easier option, bending that front knee. Again, feel free to exhale and look down towards the floor or towards your thigh. A little twist in the neck. And then inhaling as you look upwards, keeping the neck long. And then back to the center. One more deep breath in and out. On your next inhalation, use that top arm to slowly come up. And then exhaling down. Taking your hands out to the front and sit back to your heels for a moment, lengthening through to the fingers. Just coming into downward dog. So inhale, lift forwards, tuck your toes under, hugging the belly in, pushing the knees up and away from you. As you exhale, working the heels away. So feel free to bend one knee as you straighten the other leg if it feels a little bit tight for you. Playing around with it if you know it well. Just create your own variations so that you can Make it your practice. You may want to come up onto the balls of the feet and then swivel your feet to one side, bending the inside knee, so deepening that stretch. And if you want to go a little bit further, just shifting the weight forwards to that lower hand and then taking that top hand off, just opening up. Again, just a little bit of a side plank variation here. You can even take that arm upwards if you want to. Bringing the hands back to downward dog. Inhale, come up to the balls of the feet, swivel the heels the other way, bending the inside knee. You can hold it there if that's enough of a challenge, or feel free to come and into child pose if you need a rest. If you're feeling okay and want a little bit more, shifting the weight forwards, try to line up that left shoulder with your left hand, taking the arm over your ear. Or maybe taking the arm vertical, just play around with the stretch, feel into where you need that stretch the most. And then slowly turning back around to downward dog. So if you need a rest, feel free to come into child pose from here. If you're comfortable, just shifting the weight forwards, hug the belly in, squeeze from the inner thighs, coming through into a plank pose, so bringing your shoulders over your wrists. If that's too much for you, feel free to bring the knees to the floor, keep sliding the shoulders back, hugging the belly in. Inhale, feel free to lift the knees off the floor again, coming back to downward dog when you're ready. Walking the feet forwards a little bit. If you're in child pose, just come back into downward dog and bending the knees as you walk your hands back towards your feet, just folding over, standing forward bend. Reaching forward through to the fingertips. So bend the knees, let the belly come towards the thighs. Finding length through the spine. And then if the body allows, you can straighten the legs out a little bit, holding on to your elbows with your hands, taking the thumb and index finger around the inside of the elbow crease. If you want a little bit more work, you can straighten one leg and bend the other knee. As you inhale, straighten both legs, and then exhale as you bend the other knee. So playing around with it again, finding what works for you. As you exhale, lifting the belly up towards the spine. Let the neck be long. Take the breath awareness from the soles of the feet all the way up the backs of the legs. And as you exhale, breathing down from the tailbone over the back, over the crown of the head. One more deep breath in and out. You're walking your hands forward, bend the knees as much as you need to. So we're coming into pigeon pose from here. If you need to, you can bring both knees to the floor first. Otherwise, slide your right knee up to the inside of your right hand. So the knee needs to be right up to the front of the mat. Turn your back foot over. You're just bringing your foot across towards the left a little, if it's comfortable for the knee, and just letting the hips sink down. Now, if you find that your hip is really tight here, you can grab a pillow and just wedge it underneath your right buttock. That just gives you some height and support. If your knee is uncomfortable, then keep that lower leg straight and just bring it underneath your right buttock. You can slowly sink back that way. So from here, just sinking down, see if you can walk that left leg back a little bit further. And we'll just hold up for a moment. If you want more of a stretch, just keep wriggling that right foot further forward. Make sure there's no pain in your knee joint. And then if you want a little bit more, just come onto the fingertips, lifting upwards, opening the chest, puffing your chest out like a pigeon. Be careful that there's no pain in your lower back. If it's not comfortable, just come forward a little bit more. Try to feel the length through the front of the body. So from the pubic bone right through to the sternum. Opening the chest. Feel free to close your eyes, holding it. Try to relax the shoulders down. Pulling the chest forward. One more deep breath in and out. And then slowly walking your hands forward as you come down. So you may want to come onto your elbows to support yourself, letting the neck be long. And then if you find that you want to go deeper, feel free just to fold down, resting your head on your hands. Take a few deep breaths now. So breathing deeply into where you feel that tightness and that resistance. And visualize that you're breathing in the prana, the energy, flowing it into those spaces, creating space and softness. As you exhale, softening and releasing down. Feel free to close your eyes here, letting the awareness go inward. And one more deep breath in and out. And when you're ready, just slowly walking our hands back, and we're going to shift our weight over onto our right hip. So bending that back leg, slowly bring it around to the front. So I'm just going to swing around so you can see what I'm doing here. So your knee and hip is in line, and then taking your foot to the outside of the knee, and just sinking back down through that left hip. If that's too strong for you, just keep your foot by your shin. It's another option there. Getting out of the sunlight there. As you, so taking your left hand back behind you, as you inhale, raise your right arm upwards, and then turning towards your bent knee, wrapping your hand around that bent knee. So sometimes it helps us to lift that hip off the floor a little bit to find more space, letting it sink down, breathing into it. As you inhale, feeling length up through to the crown of the head. Again, if you want more, you can bring the foot to the outside of that knee, deepening into it. And if you want a little bit more, just raise that right hand up, take it to the outside of your knee, using it as a lever to twist you around. So open both shoulders and chest. Finding something to focus on, taking your eyes around, gazing at a still point. Lengthening through the spine on the inhale, spiraling, softening on the exhale. One more deep breath in and out. As you exhale, slowly unwind, coming back around. And then just taking that leg back behind, and coming back into child pose, and resting back. Take a couple of deep breaths there, letting the body integrate those poses. As you inhale, coming up to the hands and knees, tuck the toes under, pushing the hips up and away. Downward dog. From there, bringing your left knee up to the front hand, but just on the inside of the left hand. Sliding your foot over to the right, just under the right side of the groin. If you need a pillow to support you, just wedge it underneath your left buttock. Turn the back foot over, slowly lengthen it back. Just take your time, there's no rush to get down. The body needs time to ease into this twist. Again, if there's much discomfort on your left knee joint, then just keep the heel underneath the buttock. Still getting a nice stretch there through the groin. So when you start to find space, feel free to lower it down, bringing your elbows down to the floor. Feel free to close your eyes. And if you want to go deeper, bringing one hand on top of the other, resting your head on your hand. Sinking and softening through each exhalation. You find that you need a little bit more of a stretch, wriggle that left foot further forward as you deepen into it. On your next inhale, slowly rising upwards, bringing your hands by your chest, back by your side, and open the chest, lifting chest forwards, getting space through the front of the body. It's easy to shrug the shoulders up here towards the ears. So see if you can maybe just bring them up, exaggerate the movement, and then slide the shoulders back. And sometimes being on the fingertips just helps to create a little bit more openness, drawing the elbows back, lifting up through the chest. Can be quite a strong back bend here, so again, be mindful of your lower back. Come further forwards if it's too much. And just walk your hands forward like that. One more deep breath in and out. Maybe a little bit more of a lift. And then bringing your hands back down. Just relax down for a moment to find some length through the body, through the back. And then when you're ready, lifting up and shift your weight over to your left hip. And bending the back leg as you use your right hand to bring it around to the front. And again, you can either bring it, the easier way is just to have the foot by the shin, or you can take it around the outside. Try to let that right hip sink down so the foot is just away from the hip. Taking your right hand behind you as you inhale, lengthen that left arm up. Keep grounded through that right foot. Turning to your right, wrap your arm around the front of the knee, or you might have enough room to bring the elbow to the outside. I find it's quite nice just to wrap the arm around first to give your body time to come into the twist. Again, there's no rush, just using each breath, one breath at a time to create space. Try to allow that right hip to sink downwards, so you're really feeling a nice stretch into that hip area. And again, if you want a little bit more, just take the elbow to the outside of the knee. Inhale, lengthen, brighten that palm, so the fingers are spread out, palm facing away from you. Turning your head, gazing at a point to focus, the soft gaze, a drishti. Try to keep grounded through that right foot and knee lengthening up. Opening the chest, opening the shoulders back, hugging the lower ribs in. This is a really nice pose for detoxifying, good for our liver and spleen, the abdominal organs, as well as great for the health of our spine, bringing out tension in the spine. One more deep breath in and out. Try to relax through the exhale. When you're ready, slowly coming back around, unwinding. And then we'll just take our feet out to the front. And we'll just hold forward to neutralize the body, just rolling the hips out. And wrap your hands underneath the thighs if you want to keep it softer. If you're quite tight through the legs, this is a really good option. And then from there, if you want more, you can slide the heels forward, keeping the hands underneath the knees. Try to find length through that lower back. So as you inhale, feel as though you're breathing out of the tailbone and buttock area, finding space, and then exhaling as you fold forward, letting the belly come over the thighs. So if you come forward a fair way, just feel free to come lower. You can hold the feet or you can just rest the hands beside the legs. Keep the neck long. Three more long deep breaths. Inhale and lengthen away from the tailbone. Exhale, folding, deepening. When you're ready, slowly walking your hands back, taking your time. And putting your legs around behind you. Wanted to give you a nice stretch here for the neck. So often we can get a lot of tension around the occipital area, around the back of the neck. So if you bring your elbows down to the floor, have your hips above your knees, tucking the chin in, and we're aiming to get the crown of the head, the very top of the head on the floor. So just resting the top of the head down, taking the weight through the elbows, just bringing the elbows back a little bit. It's important not to dump too much weight on the head. And then interlacing your fingers around the back of the skull. Take the weight through the elbows and just gently lifting the head up a little bit into your hands so you create that isometric stretch, a little bit of resistance to open the space between the base of the skull and the back of the neck. So we're not forcing it, it's important to be really gentle here and support the weight of your head with your elbows. Breathing deeply, closing your eyes. Couple more breaths there. And noticing, tuning into any subtle sensations around the skull. This also stimulates the crown chakra, the Sahasrara chakra, at the top of the head. And then when you're ready, just bringing your hands down to the floor and gently shift the weight back to the heels. So coming into child pose and then stack one fist on top of the other, resting your forehead at the eyebrow center on the fist. Feel free to take the knees a little bit wider if you need more space. And if you find it's not comfortable for you, you can also bring one hand on top of the other, resting your head on your hands. Let the chest melt down. And tuning into the subtle sensations through the neck, the base of the skull. Be aware of the eyebrow center where it's in contact with the hands, so the space between the eyebrows. This is relating to the eyebrow center, the chakra, the Ajna chakra, our seat of intuition. Tuning in, eyes closed, tuning into the space behind your closed eyes. One more long deep breath in and out. And then just letting your head come down. Turn your head to one side, take your arms wide, sinking down a little bit lower. Feel as though you're hugging the earth, embracing the earth. Taking 2 or 3 breaths there. Let the chest be open. Knees can go wider if you want to create space. On your next inhale, gently lifting the head and turn it the other way, resting on the other cheek. Breathe deeply into the lower back area, feeling space, openness. Allow the full weight of your body to release down. One more deep breath in and out. When you're ready, bringing both hands in by your head, slowly lifting up, just keeping that quietness with you, noticing that sense of internalization, feeling a little bit quieter in the mind. And from here, just coming into a sitting position. We'll finish off with a little breathing practice called the 9 count breath. So make sure you're comfortable and warm, and prop yourself up with a pillow, bringing your hips to the front edge of the pillow. Rearrange your clothing, make sure you're comfortable. Okay, so we're going to just bring one hand to your chest and at the center of the chest, and one hand to the lower belly, just below the navel. Closing your eyes. Take a few deep breaths there. Long deep breaths, just letting the body settle. If your hips are not comfortable sitting in a cross-legged position, feel free to take your legs out to the front. And then start to feel that movement at the lower belly. So as you inhale, beginning to feel the belly gently pushing out into the hand, and then the movement follows up through the torso to the chest, towards the base of the throat. And as you exhale, just letting that softness, a sense of relaxation coming down through the shoulders, the chest to the lower belly. The belly draws in towards the end of the exhale. Inhaling, feel the belly moving out a little and following that expansion up through the torso, through the ribs and chest. Exhale, softening down. Drawing the belly in a little at the end of the exhale. So create your own rhythm, make sure your breath is comfortable, but feel the full length of each breath. And from here we'll move into the 9 count breath. So I'll talk you through it and then we'll move into it in our own time. So as you inhale, counting 1, counting 2 as you inhale to the chest. Hold the breath in to the count of 7. And then as you exhale, push the breath out, pulling the belly back towards the spine and then counting to 8 and 9. So we breathe into the belly to the count of 1, into the chest to the count of 2, hold the breath in, 3, 4, 5, 6. Push the breath out, it's a short, sharp breath, pulling the belly back, counting 8, 9. Just keep going in your own time. Breathing into the belly, 1, chest, 2, hold to the count of 7. Push the belly back towards the spine as you exhale, counting 8 and 9. So find your rhythm. If it's difficult to hold the breath in for that length of time, simply shorten the length, make it comfortable and accessible. Feel that short, sharp breath, forcefully pulling the belly back in. Feel as though the air is flowing down the front of the forehead, so you're cleansing the front lobe of the brain. Imagine the prana, the energy, is flooding down the front of the forehead. Keep going. Do one more round in your own time. Lifting up in that last breath through the chest before you push the breath out. When you've finished the last round, just gently bring your hands down, resting your palms either down on your knees if you're practicing in the evening, or turning the palms upwards. And link the index finger and thumb, creating the chin mudra. Feel the breath flowing in and out of your body. Become aware of the space behind your closed eyes at the eyebrow center. Long, deep, soft breath. Keep your awareness at the space behind your closed eyes, being aware of whatever arises, maybe sensations, distractions, thoughts or emotions, allowing anything to come into this space. Try not to be involved. Try not to push it away or feel resistance. Simply observe, feel as though you're stepping back so that you're not involved, watching and allowing it to flow out, creating the witnessing aspect of your mind. Keep on watching, observing. And if you find that you've started to wander off to thoughts or distractions, gently let them go, coming back to that space behind your closed eye, the chittakash. Chitta meaning mind, akash meaning space. Taking one more deep breath in and out. Be aware of the physical body, the parts of your body that are connected to the floor. Be aware of feeling grounded to the floor, maybe creating a sense of connection to the earth beneath. Bringing your palms together, taking a few deep breaths into the heart space. Maybe separating the fingers, keeping the thumb and the little fingers contacted, just opening the palms out a little bit. And inhaling kindness and compassion, maybe a warm rose gold light into your body. As you exhale, breathing out kindness and compassion to all living beings. And repeating that 2 more times with your breath, inhaling kindness and compassion to yourself. Exhaling kindness and compassion to all living beings on our planet Earth. One more time. Bringing the palms back together. Giving thanks to the ancient saints, the sages, the teachers of yoga who have brought this practice to us. Thank you for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed. Namaste. Take care. Arohanui.